Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Masochists Marathon. So we start the episode off with some times 10 footage. I wanted to get in the third patch of copper and just come and maintain this area. We get this second patch all covered with miners, and then we start on the third patch and get it all patched in with some belts, but I didn't really bring enough belts up with me. I thought I had enough, but I kind of could have done with a few more. But to be honest, the first patch in this area is already starting to bleed. It's fleeting fast. So we can rob the belts from that later on if we need a bit more throughput. But I'm going to need a second copper outpost very soon. I think I'm going to need at least 2 outposts, both copper and iron at all times, maybe doing a third outpost when the first of those is really starting to get thin. So I am going to have to set up a new copper patch soon. There's a really nice iron and copper patch just north of the line here that I think is going to be the first green circuit outpost. So it's going to start off using those 2 patches for just green circuits, and then once we've mined those 2 patches, we'll just have to have trains bringing in copper and iron just to feed that and get the green circuits in. It should be enough to feed the main bus. Of course, with the expensive recipes we're running, I can justify having an outpost just for green circuits, just for the main bus, just because of how many we're going to be using in processing units. So we get all this copper in pretty quickly. Next up, we do just top up the iron patch, iron outpost 3, I believe it is. And then we can start working on one of the things I wanted to do this episode, was just clear the biters up to what is potentially going to be iron outpost 4. And then north of that is another copper patch on its own, quite a big one, I think about 5 million. So I'm going to try and push up to there, have that feeding the main bus with copper. And then once we've got that set up, we can then look at clearing biters for the green circuit outpost, which is going to take a lot of biter slaying to do. I think we'll be well within BMOS by then, but we'll do that in a little bit. I just want to secure enough resources for the main bus while we push for that green circuit outpost. So we hop back to the factory because while doing a bit of biter clearing there, I noticed the power was hitting max. So I want to add another steam column. There's a little montage here just to show how much iron I actually collect. It's pretty ridiculous. We get 40 engines made, 20 boilers, and 1 pump. So a little montage of us clearing, blowing ourselves up on a few pipes and belts as well. Bit of a derp, but oh well. Gets those bloody trees out of the way nice and quick. Just clearing these ones at the top as well. Nearly in clear land, ready for the next column, but we may not need to make any more columns after this one. We've nearly finished researching nuclear power. We've already got a nuclear outpost. All I need is enough uranium-235 to start off the Kovrax process, and then we can start to use it as fuel. Because to be honest, it makes a huge amount of power. So as soon as I get enough for Kovrax running, once we get enough for the cycle, I can just take that extra 1 each cycle and hopefully build it up. Although I need to build up enough to make at least 2 machines running with the Kovrax process. Anyway, we get that column in nice and quickly with a bit of editing there. We come and clear these biters because they're a little bit too close for my liking. I have just realised to do the Kovrax process, we are going to need to do the research for it. I've completely forgotten that's a separate bit of research, so we are going to have to get that done. But we get the defences in for the steam, and that's all sorted. So I want to head down to the south to sort out the defences down there. We also take a look at the evolution factor, because I think I've been missing out mentioning it or even looking at it. We're at 0.89, very close to 0.9 itself, which is when we'll first start to see the behemoths, which doesn't actually take that long, surprisingly. We get the defences down here all sorted, just fixing the edges so more turrets engage any biters coming from the south or the east. We get this sped up just to get the wall in as well. I might as well finish the defences here. I also noticed a little gap down in the south that I missed, so we get that all filled in as well, just to prevent any caravans from sneaking past and getting through, although they haven't seemed to have attempted to come through here. It must be something to do with their pathfinding. But we get a radar in and we hop over to Coal 1 just because it's so close, and I noticed I haven't completely covered the patch. I've got plenty of miners on me, so we might as well cover the entire patch, and then I can just come and clear it out when this place is really empty and when we need to set up a new coal outpost. So we hop over to the factory just to collect a few more bits and bobs. I get some more laser turrets and get rid of a load of stone that I had on me from doing the production science area, because we're going to get on now with clearing a load of biters to iron outpost 4, because I want to get some steel smelting done, but it's going to use a huge amount of iron, and I kind of want to get some of these biters up in the north all cleared up. I also noticed a bit of a problem with the signals up at the uranium outpost. Now we've got 2 trains running up here, so we quickly hop up on the uranium train from the uranium depot just to come and put in a load of signals to stop this area from breaking. I did say I'd missed out a load of signals a few episodes ago, and it was something I'd have to sort out. So now I'm paying the price. I also come and change the values for the uranium train because it's never going to technically have a full cargo here with the fluid wagon. So I just say leave when it's equal to or greater than the contents of 3 wagons, and then the train leaves, leaving me behind. So I hop into the iron train. That's kind of ideal because I want to go up to iron 3 to go and start the clearing up there. So we hop into the iron 3 train and take that round. On the way, we do pass a biter base very close, and it does trigger an attack, so I will need to get that all sorted. But this is the area we're going to clear, so we can tap this, and then just up in the northwest there, you can see that lovely iron and copper patch. Funnily enough, the iron patch is almost just over half the value of the copper patch, so that's perfect for circuits because I believe you use just over twice the amount of copper as you do for iron. So we take a little cut forward. We've nearly cleared the whole patch, and this is where we see our first beer moth. And when I see that, I check the evolution, and we are at 0.9. So yeah, we start to see the beer moth biters and a spitter very occasionally at 0.9, and then I guess they become more and more frequent. And then when we max out the evolution scale to 9.9, I guess you'll just see them constantly and hardly see any of the biters or spitters. I don't know if you see some of the lower levels occasionally, but I'm pretty sure it'll just go pure beer moths when we max out the scale. So jumped forward again. We've now got the entire area cleared, ready to tap this. I want to get the rail in. I don't tap it quite yet because there's other things I wanted to get done this episode. I might just do the outpost out of a recording. You've seen me do it enough times. You really don't need to watch me do it again. But currently we've got plenty of iron coming through. It's copper that's a problem, but the copper patch I want is just north of this, so I had to clear this anyway. We mark out where I want the station. To be honest, now looking at it, I'm probably going to move it again. We'll see how much time we get in this episode because I am still learning how much recording I can fit into an episode with this editing style. But I think I'm going to clear up to that copper patch north of us next. But as we've just completed nuclear research a moment ago, I do want to get some processing to run. While we do that, we're also working on flight so we can start working towards robots. So we head down in this, which is going to be the permanent file train now. I'll probably leave it in the waiting area for now. We've got flight done, so we're doing robotics next. This can also lead to getting some destruction robots as well, or destroyer robots. So we trigger an attack from that small base. I also realise I need to put in a proper T-junction here because we're going to have oil trains and liquid trains coming up down here. And that's kind of the depot I really wanted to go to because that's where we're going to be setting up the nuclear processing. So I just quickly get a T-junction in here as well. I thought I'd show it. I might as well. Because, yeah, this is going to become a very important junction in the future. At some point, I may even have to go an upgrade to 4 rails instead of 2, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I put in too many signals here or not enough. I don't really know. I've never been that great with signals, but we'll see if it ever jams up. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. So, yeah, we're going to get on with some nuclear processing next. So we leave the now permanent file train in the liquid waiting area. I'll get it to forget the uranium train, so when this leaves, the file train doesn't unload everything into these chests. My speech being even worse today. I don't bother using splitters here. We just use the side loading method, which works fine. It just means lots more corners on belts, which slightly bugs me, but we're not using splitters on it. There's no real point. We're never going to need an absurd amount of throughput here. Also going to need a load of belts and stuff, so I just come down and grab a load of resources and just grab some belts as well. I will set up a proper belt production array when we start going for red belts, but I am trying to avoid it just because of how expensive they are. But we're going to need it soon to improve the throughput of this whole main bus and everything. And yeah, we also need some concrete, so I come and collect a load of stone bricks and some iron ore, so because we're going to need 100 concrete, I think, per centrifuge, so that's quite a lot. But I set up a very, very temporary production of them here because eventually I'll get the logistics network to do it for me, and we'll just get it delivered. But for now, we just get it made down here so I can get a few centrifuges produced. And there's a bit of water here as well, so it kind of works just to leach it off the side of there. So it's going to be weird. I'm going to 3 wagons of uranium instead of the lovely 4-belt balancer, and I really don't like the look of the 3-belt balancer. Initially, I do think about going for a couple of splitters, but then I do decide to use the 3-belt balancer. I just think, yeah, I'm just going to have to use it. I may put in the Matsuri station here for unloading, so it unloads equally. But yeah, like I said a minute ago, the throughput's never really going to justify it. There's also a biter base very close to the oil processing down here, which we get cleaned up, which would have been a problem if the pollution was set properly, but we're not going to talk about that because I'm still a bit upset about that. Anyway, we start clearing an area for the uranium. So I've just gone and collected a load of resources because these are very expensive. We need 100 iron cogs, 100 advanced circuits, and 100 concrete and 50 steel to make one centrifuge. So these are very expensive for me at the moment, especially the 100 advanced circuits. But we get 4 in for now. I figured that'll slowly get us towards having enough to eventually do cove racks. We still need to do the research. It's like 4,000 or 6,000 science packs for the cove rack, so that's not going to be for quite a while. But we will get there eventually. And I just set up some really crude storage. I'll come up with a design when I actually come to lay this area out properly, how we're going to do all the sorting and everything. I've never done a cove racks layout, so we'll work out something that I can do there. But yeah, we'll worry about that later on. It's just nice to have some processing running while I'm off clearing for that copper patch up in the north, because it's going to take a while. And I think I want to clear up towards the copper and iron patch that are next to each other and get that green circuit outpost done as well, rather than trying to expand green circuit production in the factory anymore, because it's just going to hoover up all the copper and iron, and it just makes so much sense to make an outpost for it. And the depots where coal and copper and everything is, there's plenty of room for plenty more depots, so that's going to be my plan, I think. So we get some processing running, and that's all great. We're going to start getting some uranium 235, 238 while I'm off clearing up in the north. So I'll be back in a second while I go and do that. Future me here with a quick update. So we're a little ways into the biter pushing. We're just about to get to the stone patch, which isn't far off the copper. We also have a look at the pollution scale, which is at now 0.907. I do try and keep looking at it because this actually turned out to be quite difficult. We do regularly get behemoth biters and spitters coming at us. When that happens, the turrets have to focus on them quite a bit to overcome them, and that gives the big biters and spitters a chance to encroach on the turrets, and we do start to take quite a bit of damage on the turrets. I have to do a lot of repairing throughout. I'm also looking for the flamer here to research next. It takes me a little while to find it because I couldn't exactly see it. I want to get the flamer done. I want to get power armor done soon, so we can change up our style of biter pushing. I'll probably still have to use lasers, but it means I can sort of run in and take out bases while the lasers just deal with the constant repeats of spawns. So anyway, I'll do another little update in a little bit. I did struggle to this bit to the east. I had to use grenades to clear some trees because they get in the way. And you need enough turrets to overcome the incoming waves to then shoot the nests. And as you can see, I lose quite a few turrets here, which is a bit annoying. I think it's about 4 or 5 turrets. I do lose quite a lot throughout the whole push, but I will try and keep as updated as I can. Anyway, I'll be back in just a second, of course. So while having that little repairing session, we did finish flammables, and then we continued with a bit more biter pushing while we did flamethrowers. I had to come back to the factory to get a few more turrets. We've now finished flamethrowers, but I wanted to have a look at green and red science because it wasn't exactly running full steam. So I have stuck a dreaded priority splitter in there and just put an extra inserter in for that cog, just to try and speed that up and balance out that iron input. So next up, I do some laser turret shooting speed 5 to catch up with the damage, because these behemoths have got me worried and I want my lasers to be fairly effective against them. So I'm going for laser turret shooting speed 5, which I thought would take ages, but actually it's not too bad. I also have to change the values on the uranium train. I didn't quite get these right, but I will get it running smoothly soon just because of having that extra fluid wagon. I can't lazily just rely on empty and full cargo wagon. But that is all sorted, but I think the value's still wrong. I think I did greater than 0, which means the train's just going to leave straight away. We do get that corrected at some point. So, back up to continue with some more biter pushing. Which the first thing I do is clear this nest just to the east of here, sorry, because it's ridiculously close and it's oddly all big biters. But yeah, we get that cleared out nice and quickly. But then the retaliation wave from the other bases is pretty big. Anyway, I'll skip forward and I'll be back in a second. So another update, a couple of scenes there, just some really heavy waves that we had to counter and turrets we lost, but we're very nearly there. Just in a second, we do zoom out quite a bit, and you can see there's the lovely copper patch on the screen, and it's a really lovely thick one as well. It's 5.6 million units of copper, so I really can't wait to tap this lovely patch and get this into the factory, because those 3 small patches are fleeting quite badly. I will show them at some point when we obviously take them down, but there's quite a few miners on it. We'll go and have a look at it in a bit. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that lovely copper patch on screen. And next we'll be putting some defenses around the patch, I think. But yeah, back in just a minute. So we've pretty much achieved the copper patch. It looks absolutely lovely. So I have a little repairing session here. Check the evolution, which is at now 0.915. So yeah, gradually getting up there still, even though it seems to have slowed a little bit, but only because we're in the higher tiers. But yeah, we're getting more and more behemoths, and they're becoming more and more of a problem. We were losing at least a turret nearly every push in that, unless I got really well set up. But it was quite difficult with the amount of bases that are around here. But anyway, we've pretty much cleared this area. We do push a few more bases back in a little bit when we start setting up the defenses. But one thing I got paranoid whilst doing this was the coal. The coal outpost 1 is looking pretty fleeting, and there is a patch I can tap pretty quickly. So we are going to go and do that next once I've finished doing all this repairing. I did use a ridiculous amount of repair packs. I did have to keep creating some more, but yeah, that's most of the lasers all sorted out. So I'm going to leave these up here while we do that. I do come and clear this base down here because it is still getting a little bit too close. Next step, we mark out the rails because I do want to get these in before I go and do what I was just saying about the coal patch. Yeah, still remembering what order I did everything in the recording. But yeah, we get these all ghosted out, so File can just go and do it for us. And then I do have to clear some more bases to get this up level with the coal. So yeah, I just get those cleared now. Then we ghost in the rail, and then I think we go and just very quickly get a coal outpost set up. But it literally takes no time at all, and it'll be even quicker because I'm going to edit it down quite considerably. But yeah, you can, as you can see right there, the increase of behemoth biters and spitters. There's quite a few coming at us there, and they're just making it more and more difficult. I just have to use more and more lasers, which just means it takes more time. It's going to take us quite a while to clear those 2 iron and copper patches for that circuit outpost. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to skip ahead. So back into File. I've got all the rails ghosted out, so it's literally just a case of hitting a button. Lovely, done. Nice and easy. A few more bases I want to get rid of just because they're still getting a bit too close for my liking. Plenty of biters coming at us there, but that should about do for where the rail's going to come in. We'll have a station laying horizontally here towards the copper to get it in a bit closer. But yeah, I want to avoid any attacks from any of these bases, so we keep them at a nice distance. Hopefully I don't push them too far back so that a base does establish in between me and the rails, but we'll just have to see how they behave, see how it goes. So up to 10 times speed for this last bit, because you've all seen me put in an outpost before. I get a bit fussy about certain things and I redo them, like this loop here, but I felt the need to have this in because it's such a nice copper patch. So we get the station in first, get that all laid out, bring File into the station as well, just to get it off the main line and away from those biters, and into the really weird music. The music starts to get very bizarre at 10 times speed, kind of like Mario Bowser's Castle kind of theme music. I don't know, it's really weird. But anyway, we get some really crude defenses in. I try to avoid having really square corners. A couple of bases still a bit too close as they attack, as the defenses go down, so we get them all cleaned up. But yeah, I get a perimeter in just because we will get some pollution attacks. So I want to kind of tap this thing completely, get it completely covered in miners, but we'll see how many it's actually going to take. This is probably our biggest outpost yet, plus a lot of my laser turrets are damaged, so we have to go around and repair those as well. But I didn't realize how close we were getting to the end of the episode, so I thought I was going to put the miners in this episode, but we'll just have to do it at the start of next episode. And we also get that coal outpost sorted as well, because there is a coal patch right next to the rails, just down southwest of here. So we've pretty much got these crude defenses in, just repairing these last ones, and a little bit more biter pushing required just to prevent any attacks. I'll just take a couple of nests off the edge of there. But that's going to be all we have time for. I do hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and please do come and join me in the next episode. Bye bye.